Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul, if Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising sign. This is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 3 of Pentacles. This is a card of work. This is the card that's showing that what you're doing right now is really starting to show some results. And maybe you haven't seen it yet. Maybe you're just kind of like, you're so immersed in what you're doing that you're not really noticing how far you're actually going with it, you know? This thing you're doing, whatever it is, whether it's at work, at home, at school, at some kind of project or art thing or a relationship, it contains so much more potential than you realize, you know? I think that you're getting better and better and better at doing something. And that your growth is being reflected in the quality of the work that you're doing. Because you're very consistent. I feel like you're showing up and you're putting in the effort. And it may feel repetitive, but something is really, really growing here in your life, okay, because of your efforts. Let's put this into a little bit of context, Gemini, and see what's going on here. We have a 4 of Swords. We have a Knight of Swords, the Hierophant. We have a Queen of Cups and the Star. Wow, yeah. You're doing your will. You're living your destiny. Okay, you're doing the right thing. You are on the right path. We have a Prince of Swords, a Princess of Swords, a 5 of Cups, and a Princess of Pentacles. So I feel like there is maybe some doubt kind of going on that like maybe it's not working as well as it should. Maybe am I doing a good job? I don't know. Everything's coming in for you, okay? Everything is showing up. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're just going to set it down right over here with Mr. Ed, our tiny horse, right there on top. We are not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments right below the video, all right? Now, let's take a look around the room. We see major and two major arcana cards, okay? The Hierophant and the Star. I feel like you're somebody who really does, let me start the timer here, trying to get these videos less than 30 minutes, and it's, as you know, that's hard for me to do. This is something where quality is really important to you. It's something where you have very high standards. I feel like you hold yourself to a high standard in life, I think the Star card here is saying that, look, you are doing such a better job than you give yourself credit for. You got to trust, you got to have faith that this is the right path for you and you are doing exactly what you need to do. You don't have any fire, and maybe that's kind of an issue. No fire, maybe there's a lack of confidence, maybe. Yeah. We've got water and water. And then we've got air, 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 air. And, of course, our earth cards. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 court cards here. I wonder if this is kind of like, if this is, there's other people around. So it's like at work or it's at school or it's at home. And I wonder if like you're maybe like comparing yourself to other people a little bit, or if not that, just kind of feeling like, or asking the question, am I doing a good enough job? Like, do I belong here? Yeah. Am I pulling my weight? Am I keeping up with everybody around me and doing a good enough job? Do I belong here? Do I deserve to be here? Am I kind of equal to everybody else in the effort or whatever, right? Or the quality of work? But let's start with our 3 of discs or pentacles, okay? This is that card of craft, of developing skills. This is saying that you're showing up every day and you're focusing not on how fast you can go, but on the quality of work. And I think that maybe that's why there's no fire here. You're taking your time. You're being told not to rush, but to do quality work. Focus on craft over speed. This could also be teamwork. I feel like you are building something with other people, whether it's just maybe not directly, but like you're in a classroom and there's other people. You're at work and there are other people. You're at home and there are other people. So it's kind of like it's in the context of, other people around you. So there could be a teamwork vibe here as well. This may even really be like asking for teamwork. Maybe asking for collaboration, but what about just asking for input? Being humble enough, maybe again, no fire, no ego really, asking somebody else, hey, can you come in and can you give me your opinion on what I'm doing? Not that we need validation, not that we need somebody else to approve of what we're doing, but to be humble enough to say, hey, I'm trying to do the very best that I can. I'm trying to do a high quality work. Can you come in and give me your opinion, or can you kind of check this over to let me know where you think I could improve? Asking for another pair of eyes on something. Your work is improving because you are improving. And sometimes we have to be humble enough to say, all right, other people can look at this and they can tell me what they think. And maybe we're not so ready to hear, oh, that's, you could do better. Right? We don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. But I think we're open to that. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think that you're going to begin to recognize how fruitful your work is, how high quality it really truly is, and how better it's getting every time you do it because of the way you're doing it. It's getting better and better and better. Maybe consider how you can create new systems or frameworks that will make your life easier or make your work easier. Can you upgrade your tools? Can you clean your space? Is there something you can do in the environment that will help? Okay. What easy, simple things can you do to make your work either easier or of a higher quality? Sometimes, upgrading our tool is going to help us to upgrade our work a little bit. But your effort is visible. Other people are noticing. And it's very important that you recognize your progress, even if it's just been a little bit. You're building with intention. Your skill is becoming strength. Okay? The 4 of Swords is kind of like Spirit's way of saying, you're doing perfectly good work. Don't worry about it, right? Don't stress yourself out. Just keep doing what you're doing and keep doing it well. Don't stress out about it. Rest your mind. Rest at ease. Sleep well at night knowing that you're doing the right thing and you're doing high quality work. Your mind needs to rest, not to be worried about not to be stressed out about this. And I think this is a card really about like stepping away from problems, stepping away from stress, stepping back from a problem so that we can sort of see it clearly and then come back to it. But generally, I feel like there's nothing for you to really figure out. There's nothing for you to stress out over. Spirit has the Star card here for you, wanting you to go forward with faith, hope, and trust. Not stressed, not worried that, oh gosh, am I doing the right thing? Are other people like judging me or criticizing me? Am I failing? Do I think I'm doing a good job, but everybody else is like laughing at me, or like, am I a disappointment? It doesn't matter what this is. This could be something very simple, like you made a dessert for the family gathering, and you're bringing your dessert here to the potluck, and you're worried that, like, what if I think I'm doing a good job? What if I think that this is delicious, but it's really not? That happens to us. I feel like Spirit wants you to not worry, not stress out about that, to know that what you're doing is high quality. What you're doing is delicious, and don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Rest your mind, okay? This is a card of the magical circle of protection. Protect your mental energy from those unnecessary worries and doubts. Once we start worrying, gosh, maybe I'm not as good a cook I think I am. Maybe like I thought that this was a delicious dessert, but it's really not, and no one else is going to like it, and I'm just going to be embarrassed, and oh my gosh. All that stuff is kind of like it's unnecessary. Because we start entertaining those kinds of thoughts, and then it gets in, it sinks in, it infects us, and then the quality of our work does go down. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay. Spirit wants you to rest assured that you are doing high-quality work. Spirit does not want you to allow any of these like stress-inducing thoughts to come in and interrupt your equilibrium, mental equilibrium. Okay. Now, a big shout out to the channel members. I appreciate all the channel members. It really are the kind of the spark of the channel, and I appreciate you. We've got a Knight of Swords under the surface here. This is kind of what we need. We need this energy that's just ready to go, ready just to take action, momentum, think boldly. This is like that confident, the confident thinking. This is the closest thing we have to fire, because it's fire and air, right? It's cardinal air energy. This is like a belief in yourself. This is like you're thinking bold. You're thinking, I know this is good. Positive thinking. I know that I made a delicious dessert. I know that my quality is high. I know that I'm meeting the standards that I've set for myself. So this is kind of like that recognition of your progress and of your development and of your work and the quality of your work. Okay? And I think right now this is that decisiveness. This is to not let any of those worries or doubts sink in, and then we start questioning our decisions. We start wondering, I don't know what to do. Now, see, once you start doubting yourself, doubt creeps in and ruins everything. Doubt creeps in, and now I don't know what to do now. I was going to do things this way, but now I'm second-guessing myself, and I feel lost. And then guess what? The quality of our work does go down. Okay? So this is a very decisive energy. I think you're somebody that acts with purpose, and you have a precision about you. You're speaking very clearly. You can see exactly what you want to do, and there's no doubts. There's no interference. The swords cards you have are very good cards. You have 2 Aquarius energies in your reading as well. I would watch the Aquarius reading if I were you. But the air cards that you have are very solid. Okay. You have a fixed air energy. You have a very curious air energy with the Princess, and I think this is really going to be a good card too. You have this Knight, which is just like you're trusting in your ideas, and you're going forward with those ideas with no doubt, no second guessing, no hesitation, no insecurities, no distractions, and that is really going to take you, quite far in your work right now. Of course, the Princess is ready to ask questions. The princess is also this part of you that's open to new information. So it's not that you're so bullheaded that you don't want any opinions from other people, or that you think your way is the only way. You're not that kind of person. You're still very much open to other opinions and to new data, new information. You're open to learn. You're still a student. You're trying to become a master. You're refining your skills. You're trusting and believing in yourself, and you're open to learning. So it's really perfect. You have the best air energy possible. You also have the Hierophant. Wisdom, guidance, learning, tradition. Okay? This to me feels like a standard of quality. And it may be that you are trying to learn and trying to master something, whether it's life, trying to master life, trying to master a spiritual practice, trying to master an art form or a skill, something technical. There's a standard of quality. There is some sort of like an image of perfection that you're trying to get as close to as possible. Okay? And to me, this feels like standards and expectations. This feels like your code, the building code, not really like the code of conduct, but like the Three of Pentacles. You're building something. This is the standard, or the quality that you're trying to meet. Okay? And I feel that this is what we're kind of worried about. If there is worry. And I'm really talking about the Five of Cups that we have in the position of the fear. It's really, we just don't want to disappoint anybody. We don't want to disappoint ourselves. We're trying not to entertain any thoughts of that nature, but the idea here is that we really want to do a good job. We want to get good at this. We want to meet this high standard of quality, and for whatever this is. Okay? Generally, this card is good for meditation, prayer, journaling, reading, studying, getting well established with the fundamentals of something, right? This is kind of like you have to do the technical skills first before you can start improvising. You got to learn how to read music. You got to learn the structure of musical theory, whatever, before you start just kind of improvising and riffing and you know what I mean? You got to learn technique. Yeah. You got to learn the rules before you can transcend the rules, right? Not break them even, but transcend them with the Star card. So I feel like maybe this is, something artistic. A lot of you could be learning, this could be you're learning to play the piano, right? And obviously you have a desire to be good at it. Otherwise, what's the point, right? Why would you start something if you just want to be bad at it? So you're working to get better at something. You're learning the technical rules. You're learning the standards. You're learning the technique, and you're trying to learn all the fundamentals first, so that you can transcend those rules, and you can then just be inspired, and then whatever inspiration comes to you, you can trust is flowing through you out into the world. In other words, you have a song in your head. But if you don't know the technical rules and the techniques for playing the piano, you can't get that song, out into the world. You can't give birth to it, right? So learning those technical skills, refining your craft, honing your skills and your craft is going to allow you to channel that divine creative current through you, out through your fingertips, into a song or a book or whatever this might be. It doesn't even have to be artistic, but it is creative. Because this card is teaching you how to be a magician. Okay? How to be a magician. How to let that divine energy or that image in your head or whatever's in your imagination or in your heart, how to get it from that spiritual realm out into the physical world. How do I allow it to come through me? Maybe it's a visual image. Okay, then I got to learn how to paint. I got to learn how to draw. or it's a story, it's something, a narrative, right? Okay, well, I've got to learn how to write. I've got to learn how to type. I've got to learn how to craft a story. Maybe it's an inspiration to help other people. Okay, I've got to learn, like, what are the rules, what are the techniques, what are the ways that I can do that? Okay. So something is flowing through you. And learning the fundamentals, refining and honing your craft, is going to allow you, whatever inspiration comes through you, is going to allow you to give birth to it out in the world through whichever medium this is about. I don't know the medium for you. Okay? It could be canvas, it could be music, it could be audio visual. It could be business, it could be a family, it could be service work. It doesn't really matter what it is. What matters is that you're trying to get really good at doing it so that all of that spiritual inspiration, you can translate it right out to the page, right? So that's kind of what we're talking about. It's like somebody who has a vision in their head. They have something in their imagination, but they don't know how to get it on paper. Like, I suck at drawing, but I can visualize very well. So I have an image in my head of something, right? Like, just like a baseball, right? I can't draw. My circles are just, not very perfect. But I know, especially when I was in elementary school, I don't know why, but I know a lot of kids that they could just they could picture something in their head and then they can draw it on paper perfectly. And it looked real. And just in like 5 seconds during class, when we should have been paying attention, they would just draw like a perfect face, And I just always thought that was crazy how people could do that. And sometimes it's a natural talent, sure. And sometimes that natural talent needs to be refined, needs to be honed into those, and developed into those skills. You know what I mean? So we also have the Queen of Cups, and sometimes this is that reflective quality of how we experience something inside and how it reflects or corresponds with something outside of us. Okay. This is also a card of compassion and intuition and nurturing. Okay. I think you're a very sensitive person. And I think that's why we have the Five of Cups in the position of the fear, worry, concern. And that's why we're emphasizing the Queen of Cups right now, because you are emotionally sensitive. So I think if somebody were to say the wrong thing, or if you start entertaining some negative thoughts, I feel like it's going to go downhill quick. That's why you need that Four of Swords. Protect your energy. Have that magical circle of protection around you. Do not let any negativity in. This is radical self-love, radical self-acceptance, and even like self-support, self-compassion. You've got to speak kindly to yourself. You've got to support yourself, and you've got to offer support to others, but it has to be reciprocal and respectful. Because I think you're very sensitive right now. Someone says the wrong thing, you start thinking the wrong thing, and this is gonna fall down. Okay? Emotional boundaries right now. Yeah. So that you can protect this. And so I feel that, maybe you're in a very more than usual sensitive state where you are, I feel like one little grain of sand in here can disturb the whole thing. So it's important that you protect your heart and mind right now. And so, I can see that if you're learning something new. And we don't yet have all that confidence that we want, right? Because we don't have fire here, remember. So if we're not yet to that point where we're so confident in our kind of basic skills, or we're not so confident in our craft, we're very sensitive to criticism. Very sensitive to the emotional energy that we perceive coming in. We're very likely to take things personally. But we don't want to do that right now, because you are doing a very excellent job at this. Okay? You are making a lot of progress. You are doing high quality work. And Spirit wants you to keep going. You have the Star card here. Star card is here to give us faith, give us hope. You know, this is spiritual guidance. This is our nervous system calming down, staying calm, cool, collected, going at a very gentle pace. Okay, feeling connected with our authentic self, moving slowly, drinking water, sleeping, keeping our bodies in balance. All right. Feeling the joy in the path and trusting, having faith that you're headed in the right direction. Okay? Having faith that your craft is becoming more and more and more developed, more refined, and that this is the right path for you. That you're not fooling yourself, you know? So this is that, you know, that guidance, and I think that this is the right path for you. You're being led forward. And also, like I said, with the Hierophant versus the Star, this is learning the rules first so that you can transcend those rules and you can create whatever it is that is flowing through you, because you got the skills, you know, and you understand the craft. You have the techniques in order to do that, to give birth to whatever this is going to be. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. And let me know which card on the Path of the Dove seems to resonate with you the most. Okay. And also, I want to say thank you to everybody that has been doing the Buy Me a Coffee things lately. A lot of those have been coming in. I really do appreciate that. That really, that helps to keep me going and helps to keep the channel going, and I really appreciate it. Okay. So as your general energy, you have a Prince of Swords. This is another one of these Aquarius energies. Again, I'd watch the Aquarius reading if I were you. But this is wisdom, this is authority, this is mental leadership. This is you trying to lead your path here with logic, not with emotion. You're not trying to ignore the emotions altogether, but you're trying to be very, very reasonable, and you're trying to stay organized. Okay? You have a system in place, you have a plan, you have a strategy for the refinement of this skill or this craft. So it's like if you're practicing the piano, you have a schedule, you've got the sheet music, you've got the playlist on YouTube or whatever, you've got like a teacher, you've got a plan of action, you know? And I think that you need to have that faith that following your plan of action, following the logical thing, I practice this today, tomorrow I practice this and this, the next day I practice that, and pretty soon you're going to be, you know, a master. Trusting in that path, trusting in the system that you have set up. Don't get entangled in the drama. Don't let your emotions, you know, sort of start trying to drive the ship. Okay? Don't let in any of those negative thoughts right now. We have to be very fortified. We have to be very protected. We have to be vigilant. Okay? But at the same time, we've got to be open to the learning process. And so anybody out there that's ever learned anything, you know that there are going to be moments where you get the wrong answer. You know, there'll be moments when I'm trying to learn something on the drums and I just completely make a mess of it. And yeah, it's tough. We then get a 5, we get a disappointment. I was trying to get in the zone and make it flow, and trying to shine and trying to make it beautiful, and boy, it just sounded like crud. And I missed the sticking. I was off on the thing. I broke a stick, dropped a stick, hit the rims. I was completely off time, and it's just like I forgot the song. It just was, it was bad, you know. And it really affects you. And if we allow it to infect us, then eventually we'll just quit. We'll say, I'm bad at this. This must not be for me. Anything worth doing is worth doing right. Anything worth doing right is going to be hard. Anything hard is going to have moments of disappointment. But this is the student. You're trying to become a master. You've got to be the student. You've got to be curious. You've got to be alert. You've got to be mentally awake. You've got to be ready to learn. You've got to be not only asking questions, but interested in the answer. Listening to that answer. And then taking your time and saying, okay, now I have to practice. So it's like, we're doing something, we're saying, how did that sound? Was that okay? We don't just want somebody to say, oh, that was great. Oh, you're perfect. You're doing great, honey. We need that. We do need supportive people. We do need the boost of encouragement. We do need the love. And sometimes we just want the people around us to say, you're doing great. Keep going. I love it. Because that motivates us, right? Sometimes we just need that. But we also have to be open to the teacher kind of person, right? We want our friends and family to just say, you're doing great. I love it. Keep going. We want the teacher to say, you need to put your fingers here and here and here. You missed the sticking. You've got to try again. Do it again. Do it again. We have to be willing to take that kind of criticism, but it's like you don't want your best friend or your spouse or something like this to then just be telling you, oh, that was terrible. Oh, you cooked that dessert? That didn't taste very good. Because that's not helping us, right? But we do need to be open to learning, to listening and hearing that in some form so that we can improve. Does that make sense? So the Five of Cups is a problem here, because it's disappointment. It's I was hoping that this was going to be a masterpiece, and I made the dessert, and then everybody ate it, and nobody liked it. Okay, so it's a grief, and it's really just a sad kind of thing, and this is what we don't want to experience. Nobody wants to feel that way. And so a lot of us, because we can't handle this, we're not going to try. You're going to try anyway, because you care about this, because Spirit is telling you that this is meant for you. Whatever it is, maybe this is a relationship, maybe it's a musical instrument, maybe it's cooking, maybe it's something technical, maybe it's a business, maybe it's the job, maybe it's something at school. Okay? You're going to feel occasional disappointments. This is something that you hoped it would be something, but it didn't turn out that way. That's okay. We don't want to blame ourselves. We don't want to blame anybody. We look at it as par for the course. The journey you're on is going to have ups and downs. Okay? And we have to be okay with this. We have to let it pass. It's a wave, and it's going to go away. So if we can deal with this and overcome this without taking it personally, without getting crushed, without giving up and quitting, if we can push past the disappointments, you will become a master. You will get really, really, really good at this. Okay? Anybody could be good at playing drums or guitar. Probably drums, probably easier. Or piano. Anybody can get good at anything. But not everybody can handle the disappointments. Okay? But if you can, then what you get is the Princess of Pentacles. And to me, this is like you get the ability to really give birth to something from yourself. Like this is like something is really developing. This is kind of like, the groundwork, the foundational stuff for this long-term success. Something is growing. You're building something up. You're achieving mastery. Something is being born through you. The Princess of Pentacles is going to transform into the Empress at some point. Okay? But you can't rush mastery. Learning a new skill takes time, one step at a time. And you will reach that point. The master is the one that it just flows through them. That inspiration, whatever sound, whatever song they want to sing or play, it just comes right out of them. Their body already knows how to do it. And so it's pure imagination, I don't know, that's piano, I guess. So we can't rush it, okay? But you can track your progress. If you see the visible growth, then you can get more motivated. Seeing the progress will build motivation. Okay? Nourish this part of you. Your consistency is what's going to really create the mastery, not the intensity. We don't need a lot of fire. We just need enough fire to keep the thing warm. It's a low simmer. Right? It's a low simmer. And this is preparing you for something amazing. This is like, if you stick with this, you can be the greatest of all time. You can be the GOAT. Okay? Maybe you're boxing. I don't know. Let's look at the mystery card. I would love to see the Empress or the Emperor. Maybe this should be the Lover's card, your commitment. It could be another prince or king of something. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments. Let's take a look. It's another Knight of Swords. Don't hesitate. Don't let anything cause you to pause or second guess yourself or say, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Don't let anything like stop you in your tracks. If you get a disappointment, you get a 5 of Cups, you keep going. You just plow right through it and you say, okay, I'm just going to keep practicing. I'm going to practice more. I'm going to double down on what I'm doing. Okay? Don't let anything shake your belief or shake your faith in this path, because it is for you. Not everybody, well, everybody could do it, but not everybody will. Because not everybody can get past this. Too many of these and I just say, forget it. I don't even care anymore. I burn too many desserts in the oven, I just say, screw it. I'm going to stop baking pies or whatever, you know. You ruin too many gumbos and you just, I guess I'm just never going to be a good cook. And no, if I have that attitude, I never will be a good cook. So we have to look at the disappointments as, what can I learn from this? Okay, I screwed up the gumbo. Right? Really shit the bed on that one. Pardon my language. This is a family show. What can I learn from that? Okay, maybe don't put so much salt in the gumbo. Maybe taste it more. Wait till the end. Less is more, right? Maybe when it comes to gumbo. We can learn from these. Most people don't. Most people take these personally. They take it like a gut shot and they just eventually are just going to, done. Nope, I quit. But you're not going to. You're going to keep going. You're going to learn from the disappointments or from the mistakes or whatever, and you're going to apply that. So that's what the Knight of Swords is really saying, that like, I got an idea, I'm going to apply that idea. And then I'm going to learn from that idea. I'm going to say, how did that turn out? Maybe it was like, oh, it was great. Yeah, your friends might say, oh, it's delicious. How did it really taste? Find that person that's going to be honest with you. You know what, Paul, it was good, but it was a little bit too sweet. Okay, cool, thank you. I got some new data. Guess what now? I'm going to try it again. I'm going to make another one. And I want that same kind of, honest but supportive feedback, And so it's a kind of, Anyway, let's do an extended reading. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. Okay, we'll do some tarot cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Gemini Wednesdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.